Hello and welcome. The finance minister has read out the budget speech, and a lot of aspects are interesting in the speech. But one thing that seemed to be new, which people have also showed interest in, is the push towards promotion of data centers. The government has basically said that anybody from outside who wants to invest into data centers will get a tax holiday up till 2047, which actually is a big deal. So, what does this data center mean? Why is it important for a common man? Why is it important for India at large? To discuss that, I have with me a panel of experts from different agencies. I would begin by asking Siddharth, who joins us from Deloitte. Siddharth, to your understanding, how do you see this push on data centers in the budget speech?
So it's a very bold and a long-term incentive which the finance minister has announced. One of the longest, 2047, so over a 20-year tax holiday. That's very, very significant for any sector or subsector of focus. So specifically data center, which is today powering all the infrastructure globally, locally. I think it's really to position India as the next regional hub of data centers, right? So there has been in the last few years significant local demand. India is a mass market. All of us are using phones, not just in India, not just in the big cities, in the hinterland as well. So, and with 4G as well as 5G, there's a huge domestic demand which pushes the need for digital infrastructure or data centers. Similarly, global interest has been always to tap here. So all the large cloud providers or hyperscalers, as we call them, have been investing in India over the course of last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So this really is going to have a multiplier effect because it gives more incentive for global players to come into India and service the world from India using data center assets which are housed in India. So it really positions us really well to be at that next hub to service the region and possibly the world as well.
Well, that's a great piece of analysis on what has been announced here. But since a lot of people like me who wouldn't know technology a lot, wouldn't know what exactly a data center is, let's just decipher that for them. Is data center important for them? How does it impact a common man's life? Jaspreet is joining us from GT. Jaspreet, would you like to tell our viewers what a data center actually means?
Sure. Thank you. I think this is a very, very bold, courageous move by the Honorable FM to announce, this validity till 2047. Data center is something which powers your phone, which powers your laptop, gives you compute power. Is basically the engine on which the entire ITES industry runs and all other industries. Because anything that you need to do with IT, you need power, you need space, which is what basically a data center provides.
So these are basically a set of machines,
a set of laptops, a set of servers coming together, interlinked through cables, which help you run your transactions.
So your data, whatever transactions we do on our phones, on our computers, they go somewhere in the cloud. So this is basically the cloud, right?
This is basically the cloud. It is just that it is not kept at one particular location and you don't know the address of the location. It's just virtual machines all connected together.
So there are such data centers already in India.
India has the 5th largest data center capacity in the world today. But what this announcement will do is we are at a very inflection point from a AI, from a next gen technology perspective. This will boost that investment within India.
Okay.
Currently, we are dependent a lot on imports from a lot of data, from a lot of chipsets, etc. perspective. But this coupled with the semiconductor announcement will definitely boost schemes like Make in India, Atmanirbhar.
Okay.
What large scale data centers building in India would also mean is infrastructure development in tier 2, tier 3 cities. If hyperscalers decide to build their data centers in tier 2, tier 3 cities, like we've heard of cases where Amazon, Googles of this world are looking at cities like Pune, cities like Nasik, etc. The entire infrastructure develops. There is a lot of job creation there. And today, all the local, and one of the statements that the finance minister has also said is it will be used for giving services to local Indian companies.
Okay.
Now, what will I do with that compute power? Organizations will then develop use cases to use that compute power from an AI perspective, from a quantum perspective, which would result in more Indian companies developing cutting edge technology
Okay.
and going global.
Interesting. Rishabh Gupta joins us from JSA. Rishabh, we were just talking about the inflection of data center, which could lead into better compute power that the country can have. But in your understanding, what does this mean?
Absolutely. So I think that's well said that hyperscalers coming to the country have a multiplier effect for the benefit of the citizens, jobs, as well as local procurement of those parts. But it's not just hyperscalers. We're actually seeing smaller MNCs, the top, say, 500 Fortune 500 companies, set up smaller data centers to host, if nothing else, the low-hanging fruit, which is domestic demand for these centers, their Indian captive consumption. With the strong 5G backbone, strong IT backbone in the country, the local demand itself creates a significant inflection point, a significant source for these data centers to be servicing local customers.
Correct.
Now, what that also means is that you have a certainty, given the length of this holiday, as Siddharth just mentioned, you have certainty for the capex to be done in the country.
Correct.
Because as we all know, data center transaction setup of data centers actually depends on financing, because the capex is so large. So it gives fillip to banks to be able to finance that because they know that this is now a viable project. Landlords are certain to give long-term leases because these projects are viable, and that again just leads to positive externalities in the economy. One note of caution, of course, is the huge power consumption. We hear it constantly, the amount of water, the amount of power that some of these data centers use, some of these servers need for cooling, and that has an environmental impact that does have an impact on our grid and our national infrastructure. So of course, the solve that we are seeing emerging is green bonds, green financing, green renewable sources of data center power. And if these data centers can be coupled with renewable sources, in fact, if these farms are located in areas with abundant renewable energy, that could be a big amelioration to the otherwise heavy power drain that these centers sometimes have.
Jaspreet, you have a comment to make on this aspect that a lot of people across the world have been making on the sustainability part of these data centers.
Yes, sustainability is an issue, right? There are no two ways about it. We can't mince words there. But lots and lots of organizations, like rightly mentioned, are also looking at green IT deployments. What they're doing is, for any large project that they undertake, they're talking about what is the ROI from a sustainability perspective. Right? Earlier, the ROI was only from a feasibility finance perspective. There's a very, very big element from a sustainability perspective also. And also what you'll see across the world, at least in a lot of major IT developments, there are more and more collaborations happening, where I'm building once but using it many times.
Okay.
Right? So if we are also to go on that path, we will also have to increase the collaboration. And it's not just data centers, it is the renewable energy sector, it's water, it is all our energy sources. All of these will have to play a very, very critical role for us to achieve the 2047 goal that we have set out.
Okay, one final question, Siddharth. We talk about the AI push. The world is looking at AI. In fact, India is hosting a big AI summit just a few days from now. So, do you see a connection between this announcement and the AI push that the world is looking at?
Slightly different. And I think we saw a little bit of the government's thinking around that by our technology minister at Davos. So I think given the supply chain dynamics around AI infrastructure and still the costs around making this at mass scale, democratizing access to our entrepreneurs, our academia, our startup community is extremely important. So hence unlocking all of this infrastructure via the AI mission, via the quantum mission, via also promoting more innovation through the Anusandhan R&D fund are some of the initiatives which have already been announced. So hopefully we will see a lot more execution and action on ground around this, which will likely position us as one of the premier players in the global AI story as well.
All right. Well, that leads me to the end of this segment, this panel. As we decipher the budget speech more, we will have more conversations. But for now, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.